time he's actually finding practice on it. He's doing a team a service. It's not all just a 1-0 conclusion at the end.
Well, another chance. An off angle. He's not going to mess with the surf ramps any longer. Simple out of the open. He's found it. Patient with the shots.
We're ready with the final game of the day, Amco taking on NIP. So far we've had 2 games go 2-0, and something tells me that this could be the same thing, but for different reasons. I think coming into this game, Amco are a team that we've seen before. Obviously we got to know them better to learn during the major qualifiers, and we've seen them play in various online tournaments, but taking on a force like NIP should on paper be a pretty rough thing to do, especially when you consider, Mario, they're playing with a stand.
Oh, it's not just a stand-in, it's their coach.
Even worse.
Amcal are right now going through it. They're down bad, okay? Topo, one of their recent additions, is probably one of the only bright spots, but no, I feel like this team is in a very tumultuous spot, and it's not gonna be easy, even though they've recruited the talents of a pretty sensational Face It Off. This guy is at 3,650 elo. He's got a 1.5 KD on Face It, and that's really where the positives end for Amcal. They're playing with their coach, and I honestly don't really see a way that this should even happen.
That's crazy when you say it like that, because I'm looking at that lineup. I'm seeing Krad, I'm seeing Forrester, I'm seeing Travis, I'm seeing names that I've seen around, you know, and I know they're not tier 1 opposition. I know they're not names that are winning majors or going into playoff at the Cologne tournaments, but still the players with a decent amount of experience and supposedly a decent level. So why is it that Amco are struggling so much?
Well, they were just playing yesterday with Nota, who is the best rifler on this team called Rush B. They're ranked about 70th in the world. And I feel like, honestly, if they actually were able to play with him, then this would be a nice addition. But I think I'm not going to overstep on what is and isn't possible based off of roster locks, but it looks like they just have to play with their coach in this matchup as opposed to Nota. And man, if this were Nota, I think that NIP have their work cut out for them, but I don't really think Sviet has actually logged into a real match for a while, or at least done significant damage in one either. And so, despite the fact that Krad, Forrester, and Travis can be maybe a decent core that can maybe even qualify for a major, as they did last time around, it's that they're playing with a brand new offer, and they're playing with their coach, and so I feel like they're now just completely hamstrung in what could have been a competitive match.
What could have been a competitive match? Well, maybe it will be, you know, but I think one of the things that speak against that is NIP and a team that is also on the rise, you know, a team that has also been in a rebuilding phase for quite some time, and I guess a team that is trending upwards as well. So your initial take on NIP coming into the showdown, what is it like?
I actually love this NIP roster. I actually think I have a lot more faith in this roster becoming good. They might be one roster move away from becoming the team that Thread and Exist want them to become in 2025, but as it stands right now, Wrinkle has been a huge standout. I have just simply loved Wrinkle's play so much that I got the same haircut as him. He has been such a sensational aggro opper. He takes so many different types of duels every single round. He's probably the only opper I can count on to take more than 20% of his openers for his team on the T side. He is so in your face when it comes to just making sure that he's getting himself involved round in, round out. But the problem is that some of the supporting cast members are a little bit shaky for me. Game to game, I don't know if Isaac is popping off for 25 kills or 5 kills. I don't know if Maxer's going to hold his nerve, and I feel like Rez, who's actually gotten a lot of flack from the community because of how long he's been on NIP, has actually been a pretty stable force, but we all kind of understand what Rez is at this point. He's a slightly above average rifler in tier 1 Counter-Strike, but he's not always somebody that's going to take over games, and that's why Wrinkle, unfortunately for me, has had to do too much. He oversteps, he overpeaks, and I feel like that's because when you're in a system that isn't finding success with the supporting cast, you always feel like you have to overextend. It actually, if anything, kind of reminds me of Simple when he was on some of those disastrous Navi lineups.
That's a fun little parallel to draw right there. From one Alex, though, to another, we have James Bank catching up with the in-game. We got NIP heading into the...
Alex, I wanted to get a bit of a feel as to where you feel NIP are at right now, because we see some positives in your results, then we see what I would think is some negatives when you exit from the Rio qualifiers. Where do you put yourselves?
I mean, to be honest, like we are trained, like as I said before in some others interviews, we're trained like keep fixing mistakes, keep working, because in the end we have been to effort. In terms of practice-wise, 2 months, so of course we have like a ton of work to fix. Now I think like the honeymoon is